Гледате Еврозум плус во Европскиот парламент во Брисел. Мој денешен гостин е пратеникот од групата на социјалистите во Европскиот парламент, Курт Флекенштајн. Mr. Fleckenstein, thank you to accept my invitation to participate in my program. My first question about the newly elected parliament. There was many rumors about speculations, comment, analysis that unfortunately Eurosceptics won on the last election. What is your opinion about this?
Well, Eurosceptics won seats. They have more seats than they ever had. But more than 80% of the parliament is still pro-European, and so it's a bit more difficult to find coalitions or common understanding between the party groups of the pro-European side, because we have to work more together, closer together than in the past. No sides, neither the Social Democrats in France nor the European People's Party, have their own majority. So that is on the one hand side, well, it's quite clear that no side can do 100% of what they want, but on the other hand, it's a good opportunity for intensive discussions and common goals.
How it is going to reflect the process of enlargement, one of the most successful projects in the history of the European Union?
Yes, it is really a very successful process. Although you know that in some of our countries, governments and population is a bit hesitant how fast we should continue. But I think it's quite clear that this process should continue straight and step by step as foreseen with the Copenhagen criteria and so on. There will be no break, no pause in between.
What do you think how the crisis in Ukraine and the crisis within the relations of the European Union and with Russia are going to reflect this process? Do you think that there are some rumors that this situation is going to intensify somehow the process of enlargement, but on the other hand that the situation on the northeastern border of European Union is going to put under the shadow the question of the southeast?
No, I don't think so. We have really to split the things. We speak about enlargement and mean, for example, Western Balkan countries. On the other hand, we have the neighborhood policy. This is to find good governed, close friends to the European Union. This is something different that might lead one day also to an enlargement process. But for the time being, it's not enlargement, it's really neighborhood policy. When we are dealing together with the governments in your countries, in Macedonia or in Albania or the others, then we really speak of how to find the door and the way to the European Union. When we speak with the countries of the Euronest states, from Belarus, Ukraine, up down to Azerbaijan, we speak about good relations, fair trade agreements, assessment, but not accession.
So, Germany is one of the most important, most influential countries in the European Union from different reasons. Founder country of the European Union, one of the biggest countries in the European Union. What's the attitude of the Germany actually about the enlargement process? It's still not clear. It was not mentioned at all during the campaign for the European election. But suddenly we discover Chancellor Merkel saying, I'm going to organize the summit with the Western Balkans countries.
Well, it's very simple. Politicians are in general not heroes. And there is a clear skepticism in the population of the country, also in Germany, who say, what does it mean, new member states? What does it cost? Do we have do we find a form to organize the European Union if we have more than 30 member states one day? How is the economic situation? Do we have, as taxpayers, for example, in Germany, then to pay for the rest and so on? This is not fair to discuss, but it's a fact. And as long as you have elections, politicians are a bit hesitant to put this enlargement thinking too much in front of them. And this is really a big mistake these politicians in my country and in others do.
You are part of the coalition.
Yeah.
The foreign minister is from the Socialist Party.
Yeah, but what do you think? Why do we have this conference in Berlin and not 2 years ago when the socialists were not in government?
Okay, anyway, so now my question is whether it's just this conference is going to be just, let's say, kind of show to send a message that no, enlargement is not dead, or it is going to be a conference which has an aim to give a real impetus towards the process of enlargement.
I think it's at least a good try to find out where do we really stand now. We have a new elected European Parliament, we will have new commissioners, find out where do we stand. And you know it's different from country to country. What can we do? What can we do to support the countries? And what can the countries do by themselves to support themselves? And it's only, I think, one day. So I guess there's much work done when they start, as usual, to think how the procedure can go on. And I think it's a good sign. It's not just a theater, because then if it is a theater, you should organize it in the states of the Western Balkan and not in the state where population is a bit skeptic. It's also a clear signal, I think, from the government, a bit late, but fine, to say we stand to our agreements, we stand to the fact that these countries of the Western Balkans should become members of the European Union one day when the Copenhagen criteria are fulfilled.
Okay, when we are talking about the Copenhagen criteria, what do you think about the situation, the quality of the democracy and the quality of the democratic institution in the Balkans? Especially I'm interested in your opinion about my country, Macedonia.
Well, it's different, and I'm not a judge, but I think it's really different, and we see progress step by step in Serbia, in Albania starting. It's a pity that your country since 2005 candidate has a status, that the government did not convince us that they really have do these efforts to reform the country, and partly we have the impressions from time to time that this government goes a step back and not a step forward. So I think what we really need more is a more intensive dialogue to find out whether all the countries in the Western Balkan really want to be part of the European Union. Because we should not ask you, the countries there, to do us a favor, to reform this and this because we like it so much. It makes only sense if the government and the people in the countries
want to join.
Yeah.
To join the values.
Yeah. And it makes only sense if it's something what governments and population in the countries think it's good for us and not is good to do the people in Brussels a favor that we can.
Now back to the Berlin conference. Do you think that it is going to be one of the, let's say, question which
I really
try to resolve the question, to find the answer?
I hope that they at least find answers how to proceed what are the general guidelines where every country then has to find his steps how to follow that. And I really hope that it's a serious and honest conference. And honesty is not to tell everybody you are a good guy, it's wonderful, and let's continue. It's also to say, no, you are very slow. We have not the impression that you do enough. So only if you are very close to each other, you can step on each other's feet. But sometimes I think we should be more honest than we are.
One of the obstacles for Macedonian integration process is a problem with Greece. Do you think that in these circumstances, created after the European election, what is happening after this crisis in Ukraine, relations with Russia, are going to create some new maybe atmosphere which will enable finding the solution for this remaining problem, which is, 20 years, almost more than 20 years.
I'm only 5 years now in the European Parliament, and but I think that also we should do more, at least try more, to convince both, also the government in Greece, to be a bit more flexible, to think about common solutions also with this name. Quite frank, nobody outside of Greece and Macedonia doesn't understand this problem. We have, as politicians, we have. But if I ask my neighbor in Hamburg and tell them this is a very serious problem, the name, he doesn't believe.
Okay.
Sorry.
Mr. Fleckenštaјn, thank you very much to be part of my program.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Ви благодарам за вниманието. Тоа беше Курт Флекенштајн од групата на европските социјалисти во Европскиот парламент. Благодарам што гледавте Еврозум плус.